You have always wanted to understand investing but never knew where to start. You have heard about the 90/10 rule of money but never knew what it meant. Now is your chance to figure out the basics and start investing. You are eager to learn, but you don't know where to start. You start to do research and find out about the principles of investing for beginners. Everything starts to make sense and you become more and more interested in investing. Let's start learning together and enter the world of investment. In this video, 3 kinds of investors, investing to win, from the best-selling book, Why We Want You to Be Rich, 2 Men, 1 Message, by the great authors Robert Kiyosaki and US President Donald Trump. Get ready to expand your mind, learn valuable lessons, and gain a deeper understanding of the principles that drive successful individuals. You'll not only gain knowledge, but also practical guidance to apply in your own life. Unleash your full potential with a Rich Mind channel, where you'll discover valuable insights and knowledge from renowned authors and speakers from around the world. Whether you're looking to improve your professional skills, achieve success, or build wealth, this channel is dedicated to providing you with the tools and resources you need to reach your goals. Join us on our journey to success and subscribe today. Let's learn and grow together. 3 kinds of investors. There are 3 types of investors in the world. They are: 1. People who do not invest at all. 2. People who invest not to lose. 3. People who invest to win. Those who don't invest at all anticipate that their family, employer, or government will provide for them when their working days are done. Those who invest to avoid losses tend to put their money into what they deem to be safe investments. This is the majority of investors, and they have a saver's mentality when it comes to investing. On the other hand, those who invest to win put in the extra effort to study more and take on more control over their investments in order to achieve higher returns. Surprisingly, all 3 types of investors have the potential to become very wealthy, even those who rely on others for their future security. For example, the CEO of Exxon recently retired and was paid nearly $500 million as a going-away present. Donald and Robert both invest to win. This book is for you if you want to invest to win. Investing to win. Robert's opinion: what are Donald and I's answers, since we both have the same worries and want you to be wealthy? One day, Donald declared after a brief discussion in his office, "I make investments in order to succeed. You do not." That was when the distinction became apparent. While others invest to avoid losing money, he and I invest to win. The recommendation to save money, get out of debt, invest for the long term, typically in mutual funds, and diversify has been discussed here. That evening, Donald and I talked about how we didn't prioritize conserving money. In actuality, we both have good debt totaling millions of dollars, at least not in the sense that most people use the word diversify in. We do not diversify. And while we are definitely long-term investors, we do not invest in mutual funds, at least as a primary investment vehicle. Why? Because we invest to win. Donald and I started talking about how our books were different and more popular than those of other financial authors. Again, the obvious became more obvious. Most financial authors tell their readers to live below their means, I said. One author recommends not having that daily cappuccino and saving the cappuccino money in mutual funds instead, so that later in life you will become rich. You and I do not live below our means. We like being rich. We expand our means. When we write or teach, we encourage others to be rich and enjoy the good life. Pausing for a moment, Donald smiled and said, "You know, you're right." Donald and I talked about the differences between our writing and teaching style and that of other financial authors. I said, most financial writers encourage their readers to live within their means. As an illustration, they advise investing in mutual funds rather than buying a daily coffee in order to grow affluent. But neither you nor I hold it to be true. We prefer to be wealthy, and we push other people in the same direction. We increase rather than decrease our resources. You're right, Donald remarked with a smile. I know that no one in my circle of friends enjoys living frugally. We like to have a good time and we do make the most of life. We prefer to take risks and we often achieve success. When we share our stories and give lectures, we reach more people and sell more books. People want to hear from winners. However, most financial advisors advise against taking risks and suggest that people should save money and avoid losses. That's why they focus on preventing losses rather than achieving success. That's a very different approach than the one I recommend. For years, since the publication of Rich Dad Poor Dad, many people have said that the strategies I suggest are too risky. But, to me, what most people are doing is much more dangerous. The current job market and stock market provide few guarantees when it comes to financial security. Many of our education systems are also not teaching students enough about money management. This made me think back to my own life and the defining moments that led me to decide to play the game of money with the goal of winning, instead of avoiding losses. It is risky to rely on job security, the stock market, or a good education as a guarantee of financial security. Therefore, it is important to take the initiative to learn about money management and to make educated decisions about investments. You know, we don't invest in the same investments most people invest in, said Donald. Isn't it ironic that the investments most people think are safe are really risky? I simply nodded. There's something else, said Donald. You and I look at making money as a game. We have fun. We enjoy the game. That's why we need to teach people how to invest and have fun with it, Donald said. When you learn how to invest smartly, you can make money and enjoy life at the same time. You can make money your friend, not your enemy. That's what we want to do, to help people make money their friend, not their enemy. He paused for a moment and then continued. Life is too short to be lived in fear. We should be living life to the fullest and having fun while doing it. That's why I'm so passionate about teaching people how to invest and have fun with it. It's a win-win situation. You make money and you have fun. They really do want to live the good life but are punished by excessive bad debt. And that's no fun, said Donald. You and I love the game. We created educational games. Games are fun. If you have fun, you learn more, you want to win, even though sometimes you lose. I haven't seen a popular game called Save Money or Live Below LR Means. Have you? There may be such games, but I don't think they're as popular as our games. We play hard. We play to win. We have fun. That's what life's about. The meeting was over. There was a lot to think about. As I got into the elevator and pressed the button for the lobby of Trump Tower, my mind was racing. Why do most investors play it safe or invest not to lose? And why do others invest to win? As the elevator door opened to the lobby, a question came to mind. What is the difference between a person who plays to win and a gambler? And what about risk? As I stepped onto the sidewalk on Fifth Avenue and waved for a cab, I was struck by the questions that I had been pondering and knew that they needed to be addressed in this book. I realized that most people are cautious about investing, thinking it is either too risky or simply gambling. Many are also under the misconception that higher returns require higher levels of risk. Nothing could be further from the truth. The 90/10 rule of money. Sitting in the cab, I recalled the 90/10 rule of money my rich dad taught me years ago, and about which I have written in my other books. While most of us have heard of the 80/20 rule, the 90/10 rule applies more specifically to money. Simply put, in the game of money, 10% of the players win 90% of the money. For example, in the game of golf, 10% of all professional players win 90% of the money, and 90% of the professional players split the remaining 10%. The 90/10 rule has served as a trusty rule of thumb in my life. We've all heard how 10% of all Americans own 90% of the available wealth. When you look at real estate investors, it is safe to say that 10% again own or control 90% of the wealth, with the greatest amount going to the top 1% of that 10%. I realize the reason most people invest not to lose is because most people think investing is risky, or that investing is gambling. Then he also believed that to get higher returns means have to take on more risk. Nothing could be further from the truth. Robert Kiyosaki. One of the ways I have put the 90/10 rule into practice is in the pursuits I have chosen. For instance, golfing is something I have decided against pursuing as a profession because I do not think I could be in the top 10%. Not only do I lack the requisite talent, I lack the desire. Similarly, my poor singing skills are why I never considered a career in music. When I decided to write Rich Dad Poor Dad and create my board game Cash Flow, I was confident that I could make them successful. But I was also driven by a desire to do well, despite my lack of writing experience and knowledge of game development. I wanted to be successful, to teach, and to win. Donald Trump and I collaborated on the book Rich Dad Poor Dad because the book, as well as its accompanying board game Cash Flow, have both been successful internationally. We are not working together because we are both successful in real estate, although I do own a number of properties and businesses across the globe. While I am successful in business and real estate investments, I am not in the top 10% like he is. On the other hand, as an author, I am in the top 10%. Rich Dad Poor Dad has been a long-running bestseller on the New York Times bestseller list, and I was the one who wrote it despite having failed English twice in high school. Donald Trump plays to win. In Phoenix, Arizona, where I live, Donald came to town and stirred up quite a controversy. He and his team wanted to put up a high-rise on Camelback Road, between 24th and 32nd Streets. This is the prime of prime locations in Phoenix. The locations between 24th and 32nd Streets are like Boardwalk and Park Place in the game of Monopoly. He wanted to put up the tallest building on Camelback Road, but there were height restrictions for where he wanted to build. For a number of years, the debate went on. The question in town was, should Donald Trump be allowed to build the tallest building in the best location? My wife and I wanted Donald to win. Why? Because we also own residential and commercial properties on, near or between 24th and 32nd Streets. If Donald Trump won, we won. In the fall of 2005, the residents of the area voted not to allow Mr. Trump to build the tallest building. After the vote was counted, the residents were willing to allow him to build a high-rise, but not the height he wanted. With that, Mr. Trump simply pulled out. During one of our meetings in New York about the book, I asked him about the vote in Phoenix. He seemed unfazed. All he said was, if can't build the tallest and best building, I don't want to build. He then showed me a spectacular building in Dubai he was building. Pointing with pride to this futuristic building, he said, why should I be upset with Phoenix when I'm busy working on this? As my taxi headed down Fifth Avenue toward my hotel, I got clearer about this book. This book was going to be about living life to enjoy life. It was going to be about playing the game of life to win rather than living a life of avoiding loss. Instead of living life below one's means, not enjoying the cappuccino, this book was to be about living life beyond one's wildest dreams. As the cab approached my hotel, I reflected back to a question a reporter had asked me at the start of the year. Have you set your goals for this year? My reply was, no, I haven't. Why not? He asked. You talk about the importance of setting goals in your books. I replied, yes, setting goals is important. My problem is, at this stage of my life, I do not know what else to ask for. I have more than enough money, I have a great marriage, I love my work, I have my health, and I am far more successful than I ever thought I would be. Today, I am living life beyond my wildest dreams. I have best-selling books, I have been on Oprah, I am doing a book with Donald Trump, and I love the people I work with. I do not know what else to go for. So what are you doing about it? Asked the reporter. I think I need to dream wilder dreams, I replied. The cab pulled up to my hotel. As I paid the cabbie, I knew this book was to be about living life beyond one's wildest dreams. But only if you dare live such a life. Donald's view. Winners. We've all been aware of the 90/10 ratio for a while, but Robert is giving us a strong reminder of its importance. If we don't take action soon, the ratio could easily become 95 divided by 5 or even 99 divided by 1. With a small fraction of people controlling the majority of the nation's wealth. Winners don't let that happen, and I hope that you're part of that group. Dreams are crucial to have. A guy should be able to reach farther than he can currently. That is what fuels us. I like to say, if your dreams become your reality will start with your dreams. How come? Because if we believe otherwise, we are reduced to merely surviving, which is not, in my opinion, what most people ultimately want. Have you ever heard a youngster express the desire to become a bum one day? They frequently make statements such, I want to be president. I want to go into space. I want to work as a fireman. I want to get into medicine. Young people have the hopes and dreams to match these tough, occasionally heroic careers. Winners never give up on their dreams, even if they seem far-fetched. They stay determined and focused, and use their enthusiasm and ambition to take action towards their goals. They may encounter obstacles along the way, but they don't let that stop them from achieving what they set out to do. Winners remain resilient and stubborn, refusing to give up until they reach their objectives. If you are reading this, then you are likely a winner and have the potential to achieve great things. My father used to tell us this story about a guy who loved soda, so he went into the soda business with a product he called 3-Up. It failed, so he started again with a soda called 4-Up. It failed, too, so he decided to name his product 5-Up and work just as hard to make it work. But sure enough, it failed again. He realized that he still loved soda, so he tried again with a product named 6-Up. It failed, and he gave up completely. Then, a few years later, someone else came up with a soda product and named it 7-Up, which became a huge success. When I was young, I couldn't understand why my father kept telling us this story. He told it many times. Later, I realized he was telling us to never give up. Well, one never forgot that story, and I've never given up either. So his lesson was well placed. Tell yourself that story if you need to, and the winner part of you will take over. To be a winner, having a positive attitude is essential. Believe in yourself and see yourself as victorious, no matter what the odds are. Positivity is a form of power, helping you to remain strong and resilient in times of struggle. When in difficult situations, stay focused and refuse to let it get you down. Positive thinking can be the driving force behind your success. I refused to become defeated by the situation and instead remained positive. I kept my focus on the solutions and was determined to come back stronger than before. Despite the odds being stacked against me and the pessimistic predictions of others, I never lost belief in my dreams. I emerged triumphant in the end, proving that determination and belief in yourself can be the ultimate key to success. Are you stubborn enough to be a winner? Then you are capable of investing to win. It's not a foreign territory, and you don't need a passport or a visa to join the ranks of winning investors. I've heard a lot of people say about themselves, "I have a stubborn streak," and then they act like they don't have what it takes or even the right to learn about investing. As Robert pointed out, they will be missing out on a lot of fun and a better financial future at the same time, an unnecessary misfortune. Ignorance can be more expensive than education, and that certainly includes your financial education. Do not let the fear of the unknown hinder your aspirations and your financial well-being. There are people who will want you to feel inept so they can take advantage of you. I've seen that happen to very successful athletes. As one example, don't let it happen to you. Learn about money and make it work for you. That's the key to successful investing. Being stubborn is a big part of being a winner. Donald Trump. The next video, choose your battle and battlefield.